For those of you that don't know, I'm Maggie, and today I'm really excited to chat all about minted wedding invites and absolutely every detail that you need to know about them. This was something that I had had my eye on. I'd seen a ton of these come in my mailbox that sat on my fridge for a long time, and I was always really drawn to the designs that Minted offered. We're going for just a little bit more laid back vibe. I wanted things that looked really nice, but I also wanted invites that were practical and didn't cost an arm and a leg, since in the end, it's something that just gets thrown away. Like, I don't think that my friends are keeping my wedding invites to look back on in their memory box. Do you know what I mean? What is Minted? Minted is an online retailer that carries a whole lot of paper goods. So I mentioned the wedding invites, but they also do tons of like basic stationery. They have greeting cards. Anything paper goods related, you can find it on Minted. Now, they market themselves as a marketplace of independent artists, which I think is really cool, and I wanted to read you this direct quote from their website because I feel like this is something that's overlooked with their company, and so I just wanted to bring a little bit of exposure to it. No, this isn't sponsored. I just really like Minted and paper goods in general. So it says, we believe that great design lives and thrives in the hands of independent artists that people do not have access to through traditional retailers. Minted uses technology to allow consumers to discover great creative talent, making Minted a place where artists can learn, gain exposure, and build their businesses. So it's just one big conglomeration of a lot of creative, talented people that make really pretty paper goods. Make sense? We opted to use Minted for our wedding invites for a lot of reasons. We wanted something a little bit more laid back. We wanted something that was really us. We wanted something that was efficient. We wanted something that didn't cost an arm and a leg. But if you're somebody who's an extreme traditionalist with weddings and you are having like the fanciest wedding and you want everything to be, I don't know, like you've seen for years and years, you can always go to your local paper store and you can get the fancy super thick paper invites that come with a layer of tissue paper that nobody knows what it's for, reply cards with their own envelopes and everything. But if you wanted something more similar to what we are going for, then I would definitely encourage you to check out Minted. So now that you know what Minted is, what kind of invites do they actually have for you to choose from? Because maybe you don't want something that looks just like somebody else's. Well, you definitely don't run that risk, because with the thousands and thousands of designs that they have, they also have a ton of different formats. So I'm going to walk you through the formats from least expensive to most expensive. So they have a 4-panel format. That basically looks like a greeting card. It opens up, it has details. You can put things on the front, the inside, and the back. They also have the all-in-one invite, which is basically the invitation, the envelope, and the reply card all in one little bundle. Hence the name all-in-one. The petite invite, it's basically just a scaled down version of a classic wedding invitation. The classic 5x7, which is very straightforward. It's just a classic 5x7 wedding invitation. And then the mini book. So this is something that you may opt for if you have a ton of details that you need to give every guest. So step 1, go to their website and figure out which style is for you. We ended up choosing the all-in-one invite. And this is something that to me was super unique. It was very efficient, and I feel like that's just my personality. It still looks extremely nice. We picked one that has like a gold foil to it. The idea is just so neat. So the invitation itself is its own envelope, invitation, and reply card, which is something that's just so cool. Now, these are also one of their least expensive options. And for me, I had to take a step back because paper is something that I love, but I knew that I didn't want to spend an arm and a leg on it because at the end of the day, it's something everyone throws away. This invite was made cheaper because most invites require an outer envelope, an inner envelope with the invitation actually inside of it, then a reply card and a reply card envelope that requires a stamp. And you also need a stamp on the outer envelope. And if you're not careful, oftentimes your letter can exceed 1 ounce, and then you'll end up having to put 2 stamps on the outside of your wedding invite. So be really mindful, because the cost of your invitations are not just the paper goods themselves, it's also the postage to actually send them out. To give you a little bit more insight into our invites specifically, ours only require an outer stamp and then a postcard stamp for the reply card. So we're actually saving on the postage overall. Definitely something to think about. It's an easy way to save on your budget, and even though it's just a little bit, probably a couple $100s in the long run, you could put that couple $100s toward a groom's cake. You could put that couple $100s toward another bouquet. You really have to think about how much things cost and weigh your options. After you decide on your actual wedding invites, go ahead and order samples. And this was something that I really loved about Minted. They actually give you the option to have $10 worth of samples sent to your door for free. For perspective, every sample that I looked at between the all-in-one invites and just a classic invite, they all are $1. A couple of them get a little bit more expensive if they're like the pressed ones and the paper's a little bit thicker. On the whole, most samples are $1. So you pretty much have the option to get 10 different invitations sent to your door to hold in your hands, to feel the weight, to make sure that you like the look of it before you officially decide. So here is what will come in the mail for you if you opt to get those samples, which I do highly encourage, because why wouldn't you? Just to make sure it's something that you absolutely love. So the kit came with the 5 samples that I had picked out. This could have been 10, but I didn't want to like overwhelm myself with options. And then it also came with these super handy samples. So in this envelope right here, they give you samples of every different type of paper that Minted offers. Now with the all-in-one invites, I was pretty limited to the paper weight that's allowable, but if you're doing a very classic 5x7 invite, then this kit will be extremely helpful for you. It also has all of the different colors that you can get the paper listed on the back. And this little insert in the back shows you all of the different color envelopes that are available to complement your wedding invites. So I just thought that this was a really nice, very, I don't know, put together, well thought out way for you to see every option that you could possibly have for your wedding invites, hold it in your hands and make sure that it's right for you. Now, if you don't have wedding invites in mind yet and you first want to get an idea of the paper weight and everything like that, you can order this standalone paper and envelope color kit on its own. Just an FYI. I definitely have a style that I was going for, but I picked some, as you can see, with this foiled look, and then this right here that didn't have any foiling. And this was actually a very close second for us. We really did just like the simplicity of this kind of watercolored eucalyptus. In my mind, I was looking for wedding invites with eucalyptus because that's the major greenery that we're going to be using throughout the wedding. So I wanted everything to kind of fit one theme and have some continuity to it, and so that's why all of our wedding invites look super duper similar. The one that we ended up choosing is this one. It's in the design name called Gilded Wreath, and this is how the all-in-one invites work. They arrive on your doorstep like this, and on the front it says kindly delivered to, and then it has the names and the addresses that you just upload into the Minted website. More on that later. On the back right here, you have like my parents' return address is what we use because they'll be collecting our RSVPs. And when you open it up, the top portion right here is your actual invitation. And then this part right here is your RSVP card. So you just rip that off. This will have a postcard stamp, and this is already pre-addressed with my parents' return address. Then this upper portion is actually what will sit on their fridge. When I was looking at wedding invites, I was very picky about how it would look just sitting on their fridge. There are some that kind of have a design that continues all the way down onto the RSVP card, and for those, it looked like something had been whacked off the bottom, and since that's how it was going to look on their fridge the longest, I was very mindful to choose one that looked very standalone and independent without the RSVP card. So just a tip for you there, or at least my mindset. The samples for me took the longest to come in. I want to say it took like 5 to 7 days for me to get those in the mail. And then once I had those, we kind of sat on them for a little while we decided, just because our work schedules were a little crazy. But once we did, the next step is for you to go online and actually customize the invitations with your specific information. So all you do is click on the template that you like. You customize it with your own name, your own return address, all of the different dates and location related to your wedding, but there are some limitations that I want you to be made aware of. So you can change all of the existing text. So if you wanted to say something differently, or in our case, the template used the like British spelling of the word honor with a U, and I wanted to take that out, and I was easily able to change that. I was easily able to put mine and Brian's names in, the date and location of our wedding, but we are having like a buffet style dinner. On the template online, the RSVP card actually asks the guest to choose a meal option. Well, since we're not having a sit down dinner, I asked my designer to remove the meal options and center everything else on the reply card because I wasn't actually able to delete certain fields on the invite. So know that there are some nuances in that way that I didn't know about, but rest assured it doesn't take a long time for you to get that proof back. So that leads me to the next step, is your actual proofs of your wedding invite. And they promise a 24-hour turnaround from the time that you make a change, from the time that you can review it. It came back Everything looked great. I really didn't have any additional issues with my wedding invites, but they do say that if you do need to change it again and get another proof, that you have to allow another 24 to 48 hours for you to get that updated design back. This is also the portion of the process where you add your addresses, and I almost completely missed this step. I was like reviewing the proof, yep, everything looks great. I was gonna click confirm and then figure out what to do with the addresses. Do not forget this step. So you'll see an area of the proof where you can manage addresses, and when you click that, it will give you a template to download. You copy and paste all of your collected addresses, names, everything that it asks for, and you simply upload it to the Minted website. So after you upload everything to the Minted site, you have to go in and you have to select all contacts. That's the only way that they will put a name onto every single wedding invite in your proof. And you have the ability to go through and examine every single wedding invite in the addresses before you have to confirm anything. And I highly encourage you to go through the addresses and look at them one by one, even though it's tedious, because there were so many address changes from the time that I collected the addresses, which was back in like August, September, and the time when I was actually creating the invites, which was about mid-February. People move, people's lives change, people get married, people start dating someone new. I had every situation in the book that I had to make changes to. Just wanted to point that out, that during this proofing process, that's also when you're managing your addresses. I did end up ordering some blanks just in case. So even though most of my invites will have typed out, please kindly deliver to, you know, Joe and Karen, whatever, there are some that I may have to hand write, but you definitely want some extra invitations just in case. I think we ordered additionally like 8 to 10. So once I approved the digital proof and made sure that my addresses were 100% correct, that was on February the 27th, and the invites arrived on my doorstep on March the 1st. Super quick turnaround in my opinion. I got a very exciting package delivered today. My wedding invitations. And they included this Follow Your Passion. This just looks kind of like a little newsletter about the people that have submitted their work to Minted. So that's pretty cool. And then this entire pouch right here came with examples of menu options, of thank you notes that have like the couple's photo on them, and they're kind of gilded with little foil press. That's what I meant to say. They're foil pressed. So here's just an example. This is obviously not us. We're not doing these kind of fancy thank you cards just because that's really expensive and people totally just throw away thank you cards. So I found some on Amazon. But another cool thing that they included here is a description of the artist Petra, who actually came up with the design of the wedding invitations that we selected. So that was kind of cool because they do source independent artists and everything to make the invites. And then here's what they look like. I showed you the all-in-one examples that we had gotten, and we did end up going with this one, the gilded wreath. They also included these clear stickers. So because we did the all-in-one invites from Minted, it looks like they gave us a ton of sheets of these clear stickers that are perforated, and you can see where we're supposed to apply them. So to the flap itself and to the sides, just so that in the mailing process it doesn't get bent or ripped or opened in any way. When they go to tear them open, because they're perforated, it will easily tear without ripping the actual invite. So that's pretty cool. I had no idea that those were coming with them. I just thought that it would seem more postcard-like. So very cool, very sturdy packaging. These are all on like a piece of cardboard on the back, wrapped in this really pretty ribbon with a sticker of the person who packed it for me. So that was nice. This is it. Super exciting stuff. So now all we have to do is add our custom stamps that we made, which I'll show you in just a little bit, and the little clear stickers that come with the all-in-one invites. Keep in mind when you're looking at prices of your invitations that not every guest that you're inviting receives an invitation. So for perspective, we are inviting 220-ish people, but we're only sending 140 invites because you have to think about families, you have to think about plus ones, you know, you're not sending separate invitations to every single guest. So the invitation cost for me was a nice surprise. It was a lot lower than I was estimating in my original budget, if that helps you out at all. So I also wanted to show you some of the extras that we opted to get with our wedding invites. And the first extra was was customized postage. Now this is definitely more expensive than the typical 55-cent stamp with an American flag on it that you can get at the post office. However, because we were going with kind of an unconventional wedding invitation, I wanted things to look as nice and as customized and as individualized as humanly possible. Because my wedding invites were a lot less expensive than a traditional wedding invitation, I had room in the budget for these customized stamps. I think that these cost like $1.35 a piece. I actually found I think it was a 20% off coupon, so I actually ended up saving $160 on my wedding invites, stamps, and customized stickers overall. So we are doing welcome bags because basically 90% of the people that we're inviting are coming from out of town. And so I wanted some sort of customized sticker that also was cohesive with our wedding invitations and our ceremony programs and everything that we ordered. So we're gonna stick these stickers on the actual welcome bags. That's another cool thing about Minted, is that all of these things that were coordinated with our wedding invites are listed below the design of the actual wedding invitation. So if you're doing seating charts, or if you want place cards, they can all be cohesive with your style, which I think is really, really cool. I just felt like this was a great compromise between looking wonderful, looking put together, looking cohesive, still a little bit traditional in our wording, but giving it a unique flair for us. We just love them. Pick something that you love and that you're excited about, much like we did. Okay, so I think I touched on every possible detail in creating your minted wedding invites online. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and stick around, subscribe, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.